stuck between a libertarian and a Republican? Welcome to Politigrammer Podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. This is Ronald Johnson, Publitarian, coming at you again with another episode of Politigrammer Podcast. And I am very excited to have this next guest on the show today. Why don't you tell us about the next guest, Mr. Announcer Guy?
This next guest has taken the Politigrammer community by storm. A staunch Second Amendment supporter, savage memer, constitutionalist, and epic shitposter. Ladies and gentlemen, Politigrammer Studios is proud to present Ruby Redpill.
That's right, I am fortunate to have with me today the Instagram superstar known as Ruby Redpill. How are you doing today, Ruby?
I'm doing great. Freezing my ass off in the North Pole, but, I'm surviving.
Are you helping Santa up there? Are we going to get good presents this year?
Yeah, he lives just a few blocks down the street, actually.
Is he as fat as everybody says he is?
He's working on it. He really is. He's doing his best. He's trying that new keto diet.
The keto-ho-ho diet. Oh, man, that was horrible.
How's it going?
I'm doing all right. So, Ruby Redpill, you've got a lot of followers on Instagram. You're a great memer. You're a staunch Second Amendment supporter. And you also have on your bio a warrior mentality. What is that exactly?
Oh, wow. So, warrior mentality, at its core, a warrior mentality is adopting the mindset in which you are no longer in control or bound by your damage or your trauma. So, refusing to be a victim and instead seeing yourself as a survivor or even a conqueror, if you will. It's essentially saying, okay, these bad things have happened to me. I've had these hardships. Here's how I'm going to overcome it. It's really about looking within yourself and throwing out your own bullshit excuses. So I will say this, I have not lived an easy life. In fact, in the past, when I've shared some of my trauma with other people, I have brought grown men to tears. By all accounts, if the people I grew up with would not have been surprised at all if I had let my trauma consume me and, probably ended up dead in a dish somewhere before the age of 25. Kind of tragic. Anyway, it would be easy for me to have followed down that path of self-destruction, but, aside from my hardships, everyone goes through things. How you choose to cope with them is your responsibility, nobody else's. If you come from a family of users and abusers like I did, you have to look deep and say, I want to be the person who breaks the cycle. It's just that inner strength that you really gotta look and find within yourself,
You weren't expecting the heavy hitting questions right up front, were you?
No, I wasn't. That's deep. Why you gotta ask me that right off the bat?
See, now the rest of the interview will be a cakewalk.
I guess so. But, I will say this. For anyone out there listening, if you don't have at least 3 goals for yourself that you're actively working towards right now, you need to do better. You should always be somehow striving to improve your life in some way. Financial goals, career goals, education goals, relationship, fitness, whatever it is. I know burnouts happen. Nobody's perfect, but you should always be looking to improve your life. And so that's why warrior mentality is in my bio.
So warrior mentality and setting goals, would you say that you have a small goal, like an easier reaching goal, and then a mid-sized goal and then a lofty goal, or is that not how you grade them?
I mean, sure. It's whatever you can muster up within yourself. There are some people who maybe they only have small goals, and that's absolutely fine. As long as you're trying to improve yourself or your situation in some way, then you're doing better than a lot of people out there. I personally have a few, I want to get involved in 3-gun competitions here pretty soon. It's something I've talked about doing for a long time, but I need to stop being a talker and start being a doer, So It's whatever. It's whatever. It just makes something happen for yourself. If you're just living stagnant, if you have no goals, if you're not really motivated at all in your life, then it's going to reflect in your everyday. So you should always be reaching for something.
Inspiring words from Ruby Redpill. I feel like I need to go out and conquer now.
You should, absolutely. You know, our ancestors used to drink the blood of their enemies out of skulls, and here we are, like, sharing memes.
Well, you know, as time marches on, you know, we have to adapt. Who's the guy that said, strong men make good times make weak men make hard times, and then hard times create strong men. God, he's like a motivational speaker. I can't remember his name now. But anyway, yeah, it's like that. I would say we're in the getting ready to go into the hard times. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, the way things are looking, yeah, I'd have to agree with you there.
So you started this Politigram, for lack of a better word. You started this Politigram account when? Was it around election 2016, like a lot of us, or no?
No, I actually came in later. It was around slightly before the Brett Kavanaugh stuff going down. I want to say it was like June 2018 is when I started my page.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, just over like a year and a half in existence now. I don't know how or why I have the followers that I have, but I'm glad to have everybody here. I know that I do nothing but mostly shitpost, but hey, thanks for loving me, guys.
We do. We love Ruby Redpill. And I mean, it's a little humbling because she's got a couple thousand more followers than I do, but you know, whatever. Who's counting? It's only numbers.
I really don't care about my follower count. I promise you. I give 0 fucks.
Actually, what's cool about your account, I mean, obviously you are female, but you make it a point to not post like selfies of yourself or, you know, bikini pics and stuff like that would get the traditional foot traffic.
Yes,
Dick
you know,
traffic?
I yeah, we'll talk about that. You know, there are so many IG thoughts out there already, and no lie, I like looking at them too, you know, but
it's the universal language. I mean, I would be hypocritical if I were to talk, you know, shit about that.
Exactly. But I really wanted a place where I could get out all my feelings and, like, you know, create memes and share them and just really attract people based on my thoughts. And it was kind of like a personal self-experiment, I guess. When I first started it, I was like, you know, I wonder how far I can take this, or I wonder if people will even be interested, or what have you. And, you know, I have caved a couple of times during, like, Q&A sessions. People are like, show your face. And so, like, I'll post a selfie, and I think I have a total of maybe 3 pictures of myself in my highlights right now. But, you know, the majority of my followers, I was actually looking at my insights the other day, just because I was curious about my demographics, and my page.
What's your male to female ratio?
Yeah, my page is surprisingly almost split down the middle. It's a 60-40 split. I was very surprised by that.
Really?
Yes. So I was surprised how close to half and half I really was, and that
mine's
just
a
goes
sausage
to show.
fest. It's, you know, 80-20.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just funny because the ladies are the ones that engage the most, but yeah, most of the likes and engages and stuff are male.
You know, surprisingly, even though 60% of my demographics is male, I do get a lot of DMs. It's really hard for me to keep up with them sometimes, and sometimes I'll just, like, you know, I'll just double tap their response or their words acknowledging that I see them. But
you give them a lazy heart. I know about that.
Yeah, I know. Hey, you and I have great conversations. I try not to ever just give you that lazy feedback. But, you know, it just depends on what I'm doing. I do try to dedicate, like, you know, time aside to just respond to people, especially when they ask important questions on. Maybe they need assistance finding out where they fall on a certain issue. Maybe there's something they don't understand, or they want more feedback on something. Or maybe they're asking me questions about, like, red flag laws or whatever because they're truly interested. I do really try to make time surprisingly, I don't get a lot of inappropriate DMs, which I really appreciate. Like, I'm glad. I think I have made it pretty clear on my page that, like, that's not what I'm looking for. So,
guys,
that's always
don't send any appropriate stuff to her.
No, don't, because you know what's going to happen? I'll tell you exactly what I'll do. You send me a dick pic. I'm going to rate it, share it with all my friends. If I can find your wife or your mom on social media, I'll probably send it to her, and then I'll post it on my story for everyone else. So, I mean, if you're down to play games, we'll play games, but I'm just going to go ahead and say don't. For legal purposes. I'm going to say don't.
That's great. That's great. That's what you're like, so sweet when you say it, and then like you're twisting the knife while you're being sweet about it. You're like, oh yeah,
That's
by the
me.
way. Yeah, I love it. That's freaking awesome. So it's safe to know where you land on the Second Amendment.
I think I make it pretty clear. I tried to, at least.
And then I also see on your bio where it says you're a constitutionalist. Of course, that would more than likely put you in the conservative sphere of politics.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas sometimes conservatives themselves don't really do a great job at preserving the Constitution. But
You know,
it's like
I kind of
the
try
least
to stay
soggiest
away.
of the shit sandwiches.
I agree. I have to agree with you on that. But I try to steer away from using the word conservative with myself, and I really do try to say constitutionalist more because, you know, for other reasons as well. I know that there's a big hoopla. There's like infighting amongst right-wing pages right now. I don't know if you've seen any of it, but it's like,
I've seen it.
What the definition of a conservative really is, and it's all about conserving traditional values. And here I am, like, super non-traditional, bisexual, you know, you can't be gay or LGBTQ if you're, and call yourself a conservative, you know, whatever. Okay, that's fine. I'm not conservative then. I'll stick with constitutionalist. There's nothing in the Constitution that says I can't be who I am. And yes, the Second Amendment, I make it very clear on my page. I pretty much post mostly about guns, I think.
Right. And
I just bought another gun like a couple weeks ago. I'm sure you saw it.
Okay. Yes, I
Did you see it? Yeah.
No, I saw it, but share with the group.
Oh.
If you want.
So, yeah. So, there's a gun shop
We're
around.
not confirming or denying how many guns she has, okay?
Oh, no. I'll never tell you the number, and I'll never post pictures of all of them, but I do share some of my guns from time to time. But, so, there's a local gun store that I love going into, and they sell Black Rifle coffee. And here in Alaska, we don't get a lot of, like, cool shit. Okay, we don't get a lot of like chain restaurants. We just don't have a lot up here. So when I found a place that sold my favorite coffee, I was like, hey, I will definitely come in here on a regular basis. So I go in there and I'm looking at the coffee and stuff, trying to decide what I want. And I happen to look up on the wall, and the gun that I've been talking about buying, and you can ask my friends, I've been talking about a Chris Vector for like 6 months now. I haven't shut up about it. I was trying to get other people to convince me not to buy it, but, you know, they're no help, fuckers. So I post on my story, hey guys, should I buy this? And I'm like, oh, shut up and take my money. I have to. Like, we never get Vectors up here. If you want to get one, you have to special order it usually. And I'm like, hell, this is a great price. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. let's throw some money down. So yeah, I walked out of there with it that day, and thanks a lot, followers. You guys answered the poll and told me to buy it, and I sure as shit did. So there it is.
And
Thank you for helping me with my habit, I guess.
Right. You guys are encouraging this habit here. She's going to have an intervention soon. And
Never. You can never have too many guns. Let's be real.
I mean, you're preaching to the converted here. I'm a concealed carrier.
Yes.
I probably do not have as many guns as you, but again, I cannot confirm or deny the number of guns that I have.
And nor should we.
Yeah, nor should we. It's nobody's business.
Yeah.
I haven't gone target practice or any kind of like shooting in a while, actually, now that I think about it. Are you a regular goer, like to the range?
I am. There's only a couple of ranges around here. There's 2 outdoor places that I like to go and 1 indoor range. That's literally all we have in this town, which is kind of sad. But I do go on a regular basis when the weather allows it. I prefer the outdoor shooting. So
Same.
And when I can find people to go. I really don't like going by myself. I mean, if I'm like trying to focus on fundamentals and just like improving, I'll go by myself. But I really enjoy going alongside at least one other person. Lately, it's been kind of hard to find somebody to go, but I got a friend on Instagram who lives here now. And
Seriously?
yeah, somebody in the Politigrammer community, believe it or not. I found out they were in Alaska, which they could have ended up being in the whole state of Alaska. They could have been anywhere, right?
It's not that big a state. I'm kidding.
So it turns out they live 20 minutes from me. And I'm like, wow, small world. Let's go shoot guns. So that's probably going to happen soon. We're probably going to collab on a couple of projects upcoming. So I'm not going to say more. But we will just wait and see what the future holds. I'm sure he's listening to this right now.
So, what is Ruby Redpill passionate about in this politically charged atmosphere in 2019? Give me your thoughts.
There's things that concern me right now that I don't shut up about ever. My friends are probably really fucking annoyed. But voter fraud is one thing that I'm always thinking about.
Oh, you have found a good home here.
I know, right? There has not been enough done to combat it that makes me feel comfortable that it won't play a huge, huge role in the election. Like, I'm just not confident about it at all. And look what just happened in Kentucky a few days ago. Like,
you can't tell me that wasn't voter fraud.
No, it most definitely was. And how they are going to identify all of those loopholes or whatever is falling through the cracks, whatever is happening, the shady shit that's going on. However, how are they going to identify all of that? And then put policy in place to make sure it doesn't happen before the presidential election.
Do you think Trump's going to do some like 4D thing and just pull like voter ID out of his butt like at the 11th hour? Or am I just being too hopeful?
You know, I want to say that I want that to happen, but realistically, I don't think it will. Now, the voter ID thing is something that I'm so disgruntled about because all these Democrats bitch and complain that it's racist or somehow like prejudice to expect people to have a fucking ID to go to the polls and vote for the president. But yet you need a driver's license or a photo ID
to do anything
to
else,
literally anything. Get a fishing license. Like, go to the store and buy a pack of cigarettes. Like, you need a photo ID to survive in this country as an adult. So you can't tell me that by expecting somebody to just prove they are who they say they are so that they can punch a ballot, like...
Now, we have really talked about this, even though I'm going behind the scenes here and breaking the fourth wall. You're actually locally involved with this, aren't you?
I am now, yes. After the midterm elections, there was some shit that went down here, and the local news had posted that, I guess, a whole box or two of ballots had somehow mysteriously been left somewhere, and they were like, oh, it's too late. And so after that, I was like, no, this fuckery is ending now. Like,
not on my watch.
Yeah, basically not on my watch. I felt some sort of personal obligation to get involved. So I went to the DMV, registered as an election official, and that's that. So hopefully I'm going to have my eyes on everything that I possibly can so that I can make sure things are being done honestly.
And what happens with that, and especially, I live in Florida, the penis of America, and...
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sometimes I am too, but I'm going to get some hate from my Florida listeners. I mean, all in all, it's a good state. But
we literally could not be farther apart right now.
No, we are just like opposite ends of the universe, just waving at each other.
Yeah.
But it's a very purple state, and the demographic is such where everything coastally is blue, with the exception of Orlando. That's pretty blue, and everything else in Florida is red. And we have the most election chicanery going on that I know of any state. Like that lady down in Broward that got busted last year, like during the midterms. I can't even remember her name now. Mm-hmm. But like that crap goes on all of the time. And it just seems like that I'm kind of in the same boat as you are. And I don't know if you listen to my podcast regularly or not, but I harp on about voter fraud. And I'm like...
I have listened to multiple episodes, yeah.
Multiple episodes, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, thank you. But like I harp on about this, and I'm like, this is the big loop that we're missing here. Everybody just seems to kind of be glossing over it. Now, there is some being done. There was a lady up north somewhere that just got busted for it. I know the Broward County lady that I just mentioned in Florida, she got busted over it, and she's no longer doing it. But one of the very, very few things that I agreed with Barack Obama on is right before the 2016 election, he said, our elections are very decentralized, and it's hard for them to be hacked, and he's right.
Your impression is on point.
Right. So that's why I think the big races, like if something needs to get flipped, like a governorship or a very crucial Senate seat, that's not decentralized. And I think that's when you see these, magical busloads of people pull in, and all of a sudden they start being able to vote in this state. Mm-hmm. I don't know what we're going to do to combat that. Like Al Franken is the one that became the senator that flipped the Senate so Obamacare and pretty much a filibuster-proof Senate could be ushered in. And the same thing that you were talking about, magical votes were just found. Like in a trunk of a car somewhere. Oh, hey, look.
The 3 people just carried in 5 more boxes. Like, what?
Crazy, right? It's crazy.
Oh, they're all Democrat too? Wow. What are the chances?
What are the odds of that? So I know we're sitting here pissing and moaning about it, but what's good about what you're doing is you're actually getting involved. And I encourage my listeners to get involved in your local elections. All politics are local. If you can't do what Ruby's doing, get involved, become a supervisor. What's the technical term?
I'm at a loss. I don't know what the technical term for it is. But, I don't think enough people really understand how important local government really is, and just being involved at any level. So, if you have any type of passion to get involved, to help things run with more integrity, if you want to do that, go find out. Go do the work. Go find out what you need to do. Sign up. Fill out whatever you need to fill out. Volunteer a little bit of your time to just be involved. We need more people involved. Period.
Full stop. Mm-hmm. Now, you said that you, just shift gears a little bit, you said that you got involved with Politigrammer during the Kavanaugh debacle. So what are your feelings on all that and the Me Too movement and that?
So it was a little bit before the Brett Kavanaugh thing is when I actually started my page, but that was like the first big issue that happened in the news cycle after I had started my page that I actually got to post on and show my passions about. Part of my trauma is that I am a Me Too survivor, not as an adult either, I'll say that. So when that whole thing went down, for me to sit there and watch Christine Ford, watch the vacant look on her face as she struggled to string together what was clearly false information to defame this man and ruin his life, I was sitting there fuming. I was like, look, I remember every single fucking detail about what I went through, and it was a whole lot of years ago. So for her to be able to string together so little real information, I knew immediately just by looking at her, by listening to her tone, the vacant stare on her face, I knew she was a fucking liar. And I griped about it, and I yelled about it, and I didn't shut up about it. And then lo and behold, what happens? The truth comes out. she gets away with a GoFundMe with $1 million
$1 million.
and some fucking book deal that she doesn't deserve. And I think that she was even nominated as like Person of the Year in like the last month or so. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But she got some sort of
it was some kind of award, but I don't remember either.
Yeah, it was some arbitrary award for being brave. But you know what?
Don't worry, I'll get emails about it now.
Yeah.
Actually,
they keep us honest. I know I'm going to get DMs about it too. But that whole thing, just what they did to that man and just trying to wreck his career. I was hanging on the confirmation so heavily. I cannot tell you how relieved I was when he finally was confirmed, but everything that he went through and all of that, just all of that, the whole Me Too movement is a sham, okay? It may have started out with good intentions, but, this whole third wave feminism bullshit needs to stop. It's gone too far.
Ruby said that. I didn't, just for the record.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody listening, I'm a female, and I'm telling you that third wave feminism is a fucking joke, and it needs to be ended right now. We have, this whole cancel culture bullshit. Let's just cancel the whole Me Too movement, okay? Because as with everything that liberals and feminists and SJWs get a hold of, it's gone way too far.
It turns to crap.
Yep.
What may have started out as a good intention turns into some kind of political weapon or just a power center for the left.
Absolutely.
Now, you had talked earlier about the Politigram community and the kind of splintering on the right side of the aisle. Where do you see that heading, and do you think it's healthy, or what do you think needs to happen with that?
Well, this might be like a surprise or whatever, but I think infighting is to be expected when on the right, kind of like our whole thing that we're all trying to pursue right now is free thought. A lot of us are not trying to be an echo chamber. A lot of us are tired of these same old fucking talking points, So a lot of us are like going for that next level of consciousness. We're trying to be more woke. We're trying to really seek out the truth. And when you have so many now, it's beautiful to see, isn't it? When you have so many now going after the truth and they want the facts and only the facts, and they want to cut out all the rest of the nonsense, you're going to have those people that butt heads. And so when I see the infighting going on, I just kind of like listen to both sides, and I'm like, well, I definitely fall here on this argument. So I'm watching these conflicts unfold, listening to both sides of the argument. I often like to play devil's advocate and like really press further what people are thinking or what people are talking about. Are
you trolling both sides?
I'm trolling both sides. I'm a troll. In my heart, I love it. Okay, but I'm really like just trying to get somebody to that end of the end of the argument and say, okay, all we're left with is the truth. And so infighting, it's to be expected. I don't get involved. I don't like drama whatsoever. I have unfollowed and even blocked pages that seem to be nothing but drama. Hey, it is what it is. I'm not down with toxicity. So the infighting is to be expected, and it's kind of entertaining at times. Like, what is happening with Turning Point USA? I'm just going to say it. I wasn't going to say it, but I'm just going to say it.
No, just
go ahead. What the fuck is going on with Turning Point USA?
Apparently they're a bunch of Jew protectors or something. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Whatever. I just kind of like, I live and breathe in memes now, and I can just see myself as that one meme where the guy just has his hands in the air. Like, I don't know, man. But like, did you see the whole Tucker and Charlie thing?
I must have missed the Tucker thing.
I don't know. I think
Charlie
Tucker
thing
was,
I know about, like when like the kids are asking him questions, like that part I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Turning Point while their intentions are amazing, and they started out so strong, I almost worry that we're starting to get away from free thought and starting to lean more towards here's what I want you to think.
Yeah, like towing the line.
Yeah, towing the line for sure. And my opinion doesn't matter. So anybody listening, if you're a hardcore Turning Point USA lover, if you're an ambassador, don't come for me. Like, I don't care one way or another which direction the organization goes. Because
they are sharpening the pitchforks and lighting the torches as we speak.
They probably are. Their cancel culture is a real deal, and I probably am just really throwing my coffin further and further in the dirt. You know what I mean? But that's okay. I don't care. No fucks given. Right? I have no plans to ever get involved with Turning Point ever, so I really don't care. It's just my opinion.
You heard it here first, folks. Ruby Redpill hates Turning Point.
I don't hate them. I just have no...
See what I did there?
Yeah, I see what you did there. I have no plans ever to get even minimally involved with them, so yeah. There's my opinion. I don't think that they're doing the best they can for free thought in America, and a lot of the ambassadors and people who used to be ambassadors and people who want to be ambassadors and people who don't like Turning Point at all, they're all just going at it.
That's what I've noticed about Turning Point is they've had a lot of people that were ambassadors that are not ambassadors anymore. Yeah, now, whenever they make
just dropping like flies.
Yeah. And whenever they make their exit, I mean, for the most part, they're gracious. Hey, this has nothing to do with this or that. It's just time for me to move on, yada, yada. And so, I mean,
but you really wonder, don't you?
You want to know, yeah.
You really sit there and you're like, ooh, spill the tea. Tell me what is actually going on. Man, I wish I freaking knew, but there is some stuff going on over there, clearly. And people are leaving by the numbers, and I'm like, hey, that, and people that I highly respect, and I'm like, hey, that tells me all I need to know right there.
Right.
I'm just going to leave it at that.
And I don't know if you're into Milo at all, or people on that side that have been canceled and erased from social media altogether.
Yeah, Milo and Gavin and them. Yeah, I do like them.
I watched a segment with him, and he was like, I used to do this college thing, and he was like, and now I don't do it anymore because I'm kind of a trendsetter, and I'm moving on. And that's just Milo. That's fine. But
yeah, that's Milo.
But I'm but I don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater either. I do think that college outreach obviously is needed because
it can be so helpful.
We all know that that's a Marxist breeding ground. So
yeah, exactly. And I remember, when I was attending U of H, go Cougs. When I was attending U of H, every opportunity that they could, my professors were somehow spilling their politics into the lesson, and it was just gross. And I really hated it. And so, Turning Point USA and PragerU, I'm here for what those organizations are supposed to be doing. The whole concept behind them, I love it because there are. In my opinion, I don't know if you kind of agree, but the current generation of college student is almost, I want to say, one of the most woke. They are,
yes,
the highest percentage of right leaning, I think, is finally starting to show itself, and it's so beautiful to see. But they are almost being shunned and shamed into silence and completely buried in their liberal counterparts. Because let's be honest, right now there are hundreds of thousands of young people, mostly women. Well, maybe not mostly women. I don't know at this point. What do they identify as? I can't say that. Social justice warriors and everything who simply believe what they believe because it's trendy.
Right.
And they're doing all of this crap because they want to feel included in this special club. I'm sorry, it's not trendy. It's not a special club that you should be a part of. You should really, truly understand what it is that you're talking about.
Yes.
You should really, truly understand. When Fog City Midge, love her.
We love Midge here.
By far, my most favorite person on Politigrammer is Fog City Midge.
I'm going to have her on the show one day.
Oh, I cannot wait to listen to that. She is so eloquent and intelligent and just all around badass. I love her. But anyway, that's beside the point. When she goes or like her or Will Witt or Fleckus or any of those people, when they go with the microphone and you know, they pose the question to the person, and the person is like wearing a Che shirt, right?
Yes.
But yet cannot form an answer for the question. It's so embarrassing. And I'm like, wow, you really played yourself. You played yourself. You know? Like,
yep, you always hear just like a toilet flushing or a fart noise. It's just like
or circus music, you know? Like, yes. And it's so sad to me because I'm like, oh, you're part of the movement because it's trendy, not because you understand what the fuck is going on. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And that is so true right now for a very scary number of young people.
Yeah, and because the left has owned the cultural lexicon for decades. My listeners are going to kill me, but here we go. We're 40 years too late to the culture war.
Open up that can of worms. Let's do it.
I say it all the time. And now we're still on defense instead of offense. And now when I say we, I mean free thinkers, libertarians, conservatives, even all the Instagram accounts with ism on the end of their name. Like, I mean, we're kind of all in the same boat here. Now we're playing defense still to this culture war where I'm like, okay, we need to start like going on offense now and start, you know, either creating our own culture, shunning the culture that is just idiotic. And
I agree. It's disgusting to me that a whole group of kids in Che shirts and pink pussy hats can like go hang out at a cafe or whatever, and everybody's like, patting each other on the back, you know, But yet I cannot put on a Trump 2020 shirt.
Oh no!
With my gun on my hip.
No.
And go to the grocery store because I am somehow labeled as either a white supremacist,
you're a
Nazi, or a Russian bot, right?
Yeah, you're a Russian bot. I bet you've got like a
Russian
panel
bot
on your back. If I flip it down, there's going to be circuitry.
Beep, boop, beep. Anyway.
I'm glad you went along with that.
So, you know, or if I'm not called any one of those things, then I'm called a danger to society because, oh my God, she's wearing support for Trump and a gun on her hip. Like, she's going to shoot somebody.
Right.
Come on, man. I hate it. And you're right. We've been on defense for too long. We need to find people in our area. We need to start having more MAGA meetups, you know, and maybe if it's a group of people who are not really big Trump fans, but they're still on the right, that's fine. We need conservatives. We need Republicans, anyone on the right, libertarians, you know, hell, even if you're just like a 3%er, you know, want to be part of a militia, whatever. You're a big luau boy. Okay, I got it. I'm a big luau girl too. Let's go. Let's have a meetup. But you know, did you fall out of your chair? Are you good?
I wasn't expecting you to say big luau. It just made me Okay.
Yeah, you weren't expecting me to be this funny, I don't think.
No, you're cracking me up.
I'm actually surprising myself. I'm like, who the fuck am I right now? I don't even know. But
it's great. I love it. This is all making it to air, so whatever.
Don't cut any of this. Anyway.
She's a big luau girl, guys.
Anyway, my point was, we've been on defense, I agree. We've been on defense for way too long. We need to start going on offense now. We need to shift culture back to where right-wingers can start being not scared to have an opinion or be who they are or publicly show support for their own president. You know, we've got to do something. Obviously, the way culture is set up right now, we're still not really safe enough to go out one-on-one unless, you know, you're ready to defend yourself because assaults are really a thing that is happening.
Right.
That Whataburger kid that got assaulted last year.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't live very far from where that happened. And.
Oh, seriously?
You know, Well, I mean, not at the time, but like, I'm from Texas originally, but it's just assaults are still a thing that's happening. I don't want to hurt anyone. I have no intention of hurting anyone. But if somebody comes after me, you better believe that I fucking know how to defend myself, and I will. So we need to start making meetups. Let's start having groups. I know that there's been a lot of MAGA meetups, like in Vegas, with a lot of organization there. We need more people organizing events. I'm going to try to do some in my area with the other Instagrammer that I told you about earlier. We're going to start trying to collab, find more like-minded people in our area. Everybody across the country needs to do this.
Yeah, that's smart. There was actually
We've got
one close to where I was in Florida, and I just couldn't go that weekend. And it was all like the Politigram heavy hitters. Like, well, even Midge was there. The typical liberal, the gay who strayed, Brokeback Patriot. Yeah, they were all there. And I actually talked to him a lot. I need to have him on the show too, speaking of which.
I love him too.
I need to put him on the list.
Awesome. Yep. And it's okay if, like scheduling and everything, we're not going to be able to make it to all of them, obviously, but we've just got to start having them on a more regular basis. It sucks for me because I'm in Alaska, and while Alaska is mostly Republican or right, there are a lot of leftists here and a lot of nasty people who I already know are going to try to make it difficult for us. So, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But people on our side. We've got to stop being scared. We've got to find our balls and just start having these meetups and start holding organized events and just start shifting culture back to where people are understanding that, hey, you may not like my opinion, but here it is. You're going to hear it, and we may not agree, but it's not you don't get to assault me over it.
Yeah, strong agree.
So, yeah, we need young people to not be scared to come out as conservative. It's just going to hurt elections.
Any gay person that you talk to, they say that coming out as a conservative was way harder than coming out as a homosexual.
I'm more openly bisexual than I'm conservative as far as family and
good,
work.
Perfect example. So your family would be more accepting of you coming out as a bisexual than as a conservative.
Now my immediate family, they are my parents, for example, my mom and my dad, they're Republican, but my extended family, so many SJWs. Thanksgivings are fucking hilarious. I'm telling you. Did
you see that meme I posted of the wrestler with the MAGA hat and the Donald Trump Jr. book? And he was like, me at Thanksgiving.
Yes. Ready to fight. Let's throw down, I can hear the music in the background. But,
John Cena!
Yes, exactly.
And that's a good spot to wrap it for now. This was such a fun interview that I'm going to split it into 2 parts. A Publitarian first. So be sure to tune in next week to listen to part 2 of the Ruby Redpill interview. In the meantime, if you want to reach out to me, you can. I'm publitarian@gmail.com or thepublitarian@gmail.com, or you can always DM me on Instagram or any other social media. We'll see you back here next week for part 2 of the Ruby Redpill interview on Publitarian Podcast. See you then.
You've been listening to Publitarian Podcast. Copyright 2019.